this. Today is actually going to be our last class in Ecclesiastes, and then starting next week we're going to move into Job. So, so let's see here. For this week, the goal was to try and read through Ecclesiastes chapters 9 through 12. So, did you guys find anything in Ecclesiastes 9 through 12 that you found interesting on your own? All right. Well, then let's go ahead and read together through chapter 9 in Ecclesiastes. We'll start this side, I think, this time. Yeah. So Tristan, and since we're just doing one chapter, just 2 verses each, and we'll go from there.
So I reflected on all this and concluded that the righteous and the wise and what they do are in God's hand. But no man knows whether love or hate awaits him. All share a common destiny, the righteous and the wicked, the good and the bad, the clean and the unclean, those who offer and those who do not. As it is with the good man, so with the sinner. As it is with those who take oath, so with those who are afraid to take it.
This is the evil in everything that happens under the sun. The same destiny overtakes all. The hearts of people, moreover, all full of evil, and there is madness in their hearts while they live. And afterward they join the dead. Anyone who is among the living has hope. Even a live dog is better off than a dead body.
Or even 32.
2.
Yeah. For the living know that they will die, but the dead know nothing. They have no further reward, and even the memory of them is forgotten. Their love, their hate, and their jealousy have long since finished. Never again will they have a part in anything that happens under the sun.
Go eat your food with gladness and drink your wine with a joyful heart, for God has already approved what you do. Always be clothed in white, and always anoint your head with oil.
Enjoy life with your wife, whom you love, all the days of this meaningless life that God has given you under the sun, all your meaningless days. For this is your lot in life, and in your fulsome labor under the sun. Whatever your hand finishes to do, do it with all your might, for in the realm of the dead, where you are going, there is neither work, nor planning, nor knowledge, nor wisdom.
I have seen something else in the sun. The race is not to the swift, or battle to the strong, nor does the good come to the wise, or wealth to the brilliant, or favor to learned. But time all change happened all to them all. Remembrance, moreover, no one knows when their hour will come. Fish they caught, cruel net, or birds they taken and square and snare, people trapped by evil times to fall unexpectedly upon them. Wisdom better than folly.
I also saw under the sun this example of wisdom that greatly impressed me. There was once a small city with only a few people in it, and a powerful king came against it. Surrounded, it built huge siege works against it.
Now there lived in the city a man poor but wise, and he saved the city by his wisdom, but nobody remembered that poor man. So I said, wisdom is better than strength, but the poor man's wisdom is despite, and his words are no longer heeded.
Quiet words of the wise are more to be healed than the shouts of a ruler of fools. Wisdom is better than weapons of war, but one sin destroys much good.
Okay. All right. So, any particular verses in there that caught your all's attention? Hey guys.
Yes.
I know if you go back to verse 9, that kind of like, we've talked about how Ecclesiastes as a whole, it kind of becomes this almost depressing book. And verse 9, I feel like, just really summarizes that perfectly because it says, enjoy life with your wife whom you love all the days of this meaningless life that God has given you under the sun, all your meaningless days. For this is your lot in life, and in your toilsome labor under the sun. I mean, like twice in the same sentence, he uses that meaningless, phrase, and it's just kind of like, yeah, enjoy your time here because it's pointless. It stinks. All of your pointless, meaningless, stupid, ridiculous days here on this earth. I mean, you kind of get that sense of frustration coming out from the teacher in that passage in particular. I thought that was good. Anybody else?
Chapter 10.
Verse 10? All right.
Verse 10.
Yeah.
Says, whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your might. For in the realm of the dead where you are going, there is neither work nor planning nor knowledge nor wisdom.
Yeah, and it's interesting that he would say that, right? Why is that interesting?
I don't know what you could have said.
Why?
I don't know.
You're on the right track, though. He specifically tells them, do it with all your might, and he specifically says, do it with all your might, for in the grave where you are going, there is neither working nor planning nor knowledge nor wisdom. Right? So there is something interesting there. It's good that you caught on to that. But what's interesting about him saying that? Hey. What's the teacher said so far about working and all this? Is there purpose? Does it make sense to work? What's the teacher said so far about work? Is there a reason to work? Does he encourage it? Yeah. Huh? Yeah, it's pointless. Okay? So previously we've seen him say work is pointless, right? All right? In fact, that's kind of what he ends up saying about everything, right? Money is pointless. Wisdom is pointless. Love is pointless. Everything's pointless. Yeah, exactly. Gonna die. Right? You saw that in that video. Doesn't matter if you're rich or super healthy, Michael Phelps, amazing swimmer. Tons of medals, gold medals. It's gonna be a long time before anybody breaks that guy's record. You're gonna die. Doesn't matter who you are going to die. Everything is pointless. And yet, he says, do it with all your strength. Do it with all your mind. He's already told us work is pointless, and then he's telling us to do it with all our mind. Remember, we've said that when we hear one message throughout the scripture, and then we all of a sudden notice that it seems like it's saying something different, what are we supposed to do? So when we read through the text and we see this consistent message, and then all of a sudden we see one thing where that passage doesn't seem to line up with what we've already been reading or hearing or whatever, what do? It does shock you, and it's intentionally doing so.
I remember you said about it last week, but I can't remember what you said.
We need to pay attention to texts like this, right? Because when we see the author within the text do one thing or say one thing consistently, and then to us it all of a sudden seems like they're saying something different, we need to be paying attention. They're trying to tell us something very important right here. Okay? And so the idea is that even though work is pointless, the teacher still tells us to work with all our mind. And we kind of got into this last week. Does anybody remember what we said about last week as far as doing work or gaining wisdom and all that? Should we still do it? Okay, yeah, why? I'll give you a clue. It's in chapter 5, verse 19. Verses 17 through 20. Say there. Chapter 5, verses 17 through 20. It's good and proper for a man to eat and drink and to find satisfaction and to spoil some labor under the sun during the few days of life God has given him, for this is his lot. Moreover, when God gives any man wealth and possession and enables him to enjoy them, to accept his lot and be happy in his work, this is a gift of God. He seldom reflects on the days of his life, because God keeps him occupied with gladness of heart. So why do we work? Why do we?
Satisfaction.
Satisfaction, but more importantly, it's a gift from God. It is a gift from God. How many of you guys have jobs? Raise your hand. Okay. Would you consider your job a gift from God? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's good. All right. There are times when sometimes the thing that we're doing as a job might not always come across as a gift, because it's not always the most exciting thing, but it is a gift. It's a gift from God that we're able to go out and work and do these things to take care of ourselves. Okay? It's a gift. And so this is the reason we do this. Because while we're alive, it's a gift from the Lord to be able to do this. And that's why you see in chapter 9, at the end of verse 10, he says, for in the grave where you are going, there is neither working nor planning, nor knowledge, nor wisdom. You know, if you're alive, you might as well work to work, do it with all your might. You might as well try and gain wisdom, because it's a gift from God. You might as well try and enjoy life, because it's a gift. And because once you're dead, you're dead. You can't do that kind of stuff anymore. Right? So, anything else that you guys found interesting in chapter 9 before we move on? All right. So we'll go ahead and continue here in verse 11. It says this: I've seen something else under the sun. The race is not to the swift, or the battle to the strong, nor does food come to the wise, or wealth to the brilliant, or favor to the learned, but time and chance happen to them all. All of you guys that are in track, raise your hand. Does the fastest always win the race?
Yes.
Pretty much. When might the fastest not win the race?
When he blows the ankle.
Blows an ankle.
What if he's already ran a lot?
Throwing a
disc.
Huh?
When he's throwing a disc.
Throwing a disc? Okay.
Yeah, another fastest like that.
I don't think that would matter.
Well, if you start like first spurting out of like maybe a mile, they might die and like if they're just trying to be ahead of everybody else, but that's not what counts.
Okay. Never having been in a race before, let me ask you guys this that are the track folks here. You ever run a race and all of a sudden get a Charlie horse? No?
I have.
Okay.
You've done that on the basketball.
Huh?
You're
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
basketball, but never tried.
Like when your leg just like tightens up.
Cramp.
Cramp. Yeah, okay, there you go. Cramp, yeah. Has anybody ever have a cramp just all of a sudden hit them in the middle of a run? And Weston's going, yeah. It's not comfortable, is it? Were you actually racing somebody?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good.
I was on the basketball court.
Oh, okay. So you were on the court and you were playing in a game?
Yep.
How did that affect the play?
I quit.
Okay. And so this is the point right here. The race isn't always to the swift because time and chance happen to them all. You know, like Kobe said, you might be running, you might be doing awesome, you're at the head of the race, and all of a sudden, ankle blows out, bam, face plant in the ground. You might be doing all sorts of different stuff, and all of a sudden, just random, right? Battle doesn't always go to the strong. And there's plenty of examples in history where the battle did not go to the person with the most people. Battle of Thermopylae. You guys know that one? Battle of 300?
Yes.
Okay. How many Spartans were in the pass?
Not very good.
300, right?
Yeah.
There's 300 guys that are standing there, and they're supposed to hold off the whole Persian army, right? Whole Persian army is going to come and try and, get through this pass, try and cut off the Greeks. 300 Spartans hold off the entire Persian army enough to slow them down and stem the tide of the war for a while. 300. That's it. There's tons of different examples throughout history where that happens. And the whole point is this part right here at the end, that time and chance happen to them all. Life isn't always fair. Enjoy it. And so things don't always work out the way we want them to, even if we live the way that we should. That's kind of been the message that the teacher has expressed throughout this text, right? Is that, when we talk about Proverbs was saying what? Proverbs said, if you obey, what would happen?
You get to go ahead.
Okay. What about here on earth?
You are blessed.
Yeah. Good things will happen, right?
Sometimes.
All right. Who said sometimes?
Okay.
David? Yeah. And that's exactly what Ecclesiastes is trying to get at. Okay? Yeah. Because the Proverbs kind of like, when you read through Proverbs, and kind of like what we saw in that video, remember, Proverbs is kind of this personality of, yes, optimism. If you obey God's word, then everything is going to go well, right?
Yes.
And then we see Ecclesiastes, and Ecclesiastes just kind of shrugs his shoulders and goes, nah, maybe. Maybe things will go well. But oftentimes they don't. You can live this completely righteous life and things still go completely terrible for you. Congratulations. Welcome to life. You're going to die. Right? And that's the message that Ecclesiastes is trying to show right here, is that things don't always work out the way we want them to, even if we live the way that we should. And so the point that Ecclesiastes really tries to get at is this right here, is this idea of we don't obey because it leads to a good life. We obey because it leads to a holy life. All right? We don't obey simply because it's this matter of, oh, well, God tells me I need to do this stuff, and if I do this, then I'm going to be blessed. I'm going to have this good life. We obey because it leads to a holy life. Yes, we obey because God tells us to, but He tells us to do that so that we can be holy and so that we can be reunited with Him. It's a different mindset that gets involved there. Right? So, all right. So the next thing that Ecclesiastes tries to tell us here in this passage and throughout the book is that life isn't fair, and that's a good thing. Why is it a good thing that life isn't fair? Okay? Some things don't need to be fair. How so?
There's integrity in losing.
So what?
There's integrity in losing.
Integrity in losing. Okay?
To test the person's faith, I guess. That way everything's not handed to you.
Okay.
If you take an L, you can bounce back.
Take a what?
If you take an L, the loss,
Oh,
you can
okay.
bounce back.
Bounce back. Okay. Okay, so there's lessons that we can learn. I think that's what I've heard from most of you guys so far. Why else is it good that life's not fair? What is it that we deserve? Death. And it gets back to this point of what happened in the garden. We were with God, and then who chose to disobey? Eve. Adam too. Don't let Adam off the hook. He was standing right there with her. He knew exactly what was going on. All right? We disobeyed, and we can't sit there and say that we would have done any better. So we're all on the hook for it. God could have just as easily said, well, that's it. And He could have just said, well, you guys are separated. When you die, you die. Peace out, homies. Instead, He does what?
Makes a way from
Yeah, He made a way. Instead of just letting them continue to walk around in their ridiculous sewing of fig leaves, He provided animal skins to cover them better. He specifically said, okay, all right, if you sacrifice, then you'll be made clean. I'll forgive the sins through the offering so that you can be reunited with me. He makes that specific covenant, right, with Abraham and his family. And He says, you obey my commands, you'll be what? 3 parts? Blessing?
Blessing.
What?
Blessing, land,
Blessing, land, descendants, yeah. And then when Moses comes along, God specifically tells Moses, all right, look, you guys follow me, there'll be blessings. I'll make sure that you guys are well protected in your land. You'll never have to worry about your land ever being invaded. All the other countries around you, they're going to have to go through this time and time again, but it doesn't matter how big of an army comes against you, I'll protect you. Hezekiah specifically has the Assyrian army at his gates. Thousands of Assyrians march to the front of Jerusalem. Sit there and start railing against the king and everybody else, saying, this city is going to fall. I have killed so many people. I have crushed so many walls. This city is no different. I will destroy it. Hezekiah listens to it, says, God, you got this, right? And God says, oh yeah. Commander wakes up the next morning, what's he find? Everybody dead. Everybody is wiped out. He wakes up and he looks across his camp and everybody's gone. He says, I'm out of here. I have no idea what's going on, but I'm booking it out. Races back home. Next day, or shortly thereafter, his own 2 sons killed. Yeah. All right. God specifically said, I will protect you. I will bless this land so that you will never have to worry about a thing. Did Israel follow through on their part of the deal? No. Time and time again, they fell. They broke the command. Time and time again. God specifically makes this arrangement and says, look, if you guys break the command, remember we said that about Abraham. We get to this part where Abraham has that vision, right? And God tells Abraham, okay, I want you to cut these animals in half. You're going to put them on either side. And this is kind of the way that they said a covenant would work in the old, in those ancient times, is that if I break the covenant, then let my fate be the same as these animals here, right? Kill. And Abraham says, okay, I agree to this covenant, but who is the one that passes between? Does Abraham walk between the animals? No. It's that fiery pot that shows up in this dream, right? And passes between the 2 animals. It's God that passes between the animals. And it's God saying, if I break my part of the deal here, then let my fate be the same as these animals. God didn't break his part of the deal, and yet he still sacrificed himself so that we could be redeemed, so that we could be restored to him. It's this powerful message that God continues to say to all of his children throughout history. Is this message of, look, you all have disobeyed. I still love you enough that I'm willing to die so that you can be brought back to me. Is that fair? It's called grace. There's absolutely nothing fair about this arrangement that we have with God. There's nothing fair about it. Every single one of us deserve nothing more than death. You know, if at best what we had was just when you die, that's it, then we would deserve it. And God still says, nope, that's not good enough for me. That's not good enough for me. I still want you to be able to come back to me, to be able to walk with me, to be in my very presence when you're dead. I want you to still be able to be in my presence while you're living in this life. I want my presence to be in you. And in order for that to happen, you have to be cleansed. And so he offers grace. We absolutely don't deserve it. It's not fair. And that's a good thing. There's tons of examples in the Bible when the battle didn't go with the strong. You can look to Goliath, Assyria, Babylon, Satan, for crying out loud. I mean, Satan is completely able to overpower us, and yet through God, Satan's toast. And he doesn't have a chance. Goliath is this huge giant, literally a giant. David walks up to him, says, I'm not scared. I could care less how big you are. I could care less about how tough your armor is or how big of a sword you have. Doesn't matter. I can just take a stone. And it's not even me. My God will destroy you. So good luck. What's that stone? Cracks Goliath's skull open. No thing. The message that Ecclesiastes tries to send repeatedly throughout his book here is don't try to make life about accomplishments, wealth, knowledge, or even justice. Justice is a good thing. We need to make sure that people have what they deserve, that we watch out for people. But remember, there's a difference between a good thing and a holy thing. And that's the point that Ecclesiastes is trying to make throughout this entire text. Is don't just sit there and go out and seek out justice because it's good. Seek out justice because that obeys God. Seek out accomplishments because you're enjoying the gift that God has given you. Seek out knowledge because that's something that God has given you. If God blesses you with being wealthy, enjoy it. But make sure you're also using it for the good of other people. All right? We've talked before about the example of the field, right? Edges of the field are what? For the poor, right? All right. Now, I know some of you guys are farmers, but not all of us are. So how does that apply to those of us that aren't farmers? What would your field be? What's the purpose of the field for a farmer? Okay. Food? Except do you guys eat all the corn or cotton or whatever else that you guys make? What do you guys do with the rest? The cows? Okay. Income. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Income.
I guess it might be so.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So either you have a farm and you might use some of it for yourself, but generally speaking, you're talking about income. This is all about provision, right? Who's providing this?
God.
Exactly. It's God. God is the one that provides it, and God is specifically telling us that whatever provision He has given you, whether it's money or whatever else, you make sure that you leave something for the poor. And so you might not have the field, but if you've got money, God wants you to make sure that you're using some of that to take care of the poor. That you're making sure to take care of those in need through the provision that He gives you. You guys remember the story of Ruth? Ruth starts going through the fields, right? She goes into Boaz's field, and Boaz finds out about who she is, and he not only tells her to stay in the field and whatever, he also tells his men what? That she picks up, because they were only supposed to take whatever was left behind by the harvesters, right? And Boaz specifically tells the harvesters, look, I want to make sure she's taken care of, so I'll tell you what, if she picks up something that she's not actually supposed to, so if, like, let's say that they pluck one of the sheaves or whatever, and it might fall to the ground, but they're intending to pick it up, and she accidentally goes over and reaches and picks it up, what are they supposed to do? Leave her alone, right? He even tells them, look, to make sure she has enough so that she's taken care of, I want you to specifically pull some of the sheaves and drop them on the ground so she can pick them up. Boaz goes above and beyond the call because he understands what God's intent is, and it's to take care of people. And so when we talk about all of this, this is why we do this. We don't seek knowledge, we don't seek wisdom and wealth and accomplishments and justice because it's good. It's because by doing so we obey God. To live in the fear of the Lord is to obey Him in good times and bad, because that's the only life of living. You know, Proverbs has this message of if you obey God, things will be good. Ecclesiastes says that's great, but sometimes it doesn't work out. You still need to obey God. Because it's not just about obeying God when things are good, it's about obeying God in all things, in all time. All right. Next week, or on Wednesday, we're going to continue our conversation on the basics. Don't forget about works today. Next week, we start Book of Job. Today, we're going to leave for Hobbs at 1 o'clock. If you're joining us, we need to leave at 1 o'clock. We'll be back about 7:38. So we'll be eating dinner out there, so you don't have to worry about dinner. They said something about playing human foosball. So have you guys seen that?
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Oh, so you guys already played that?
Yeah,
Okay.
I did none when
Oh, okay. There you go.
pretty fun.
So good deal. Next week is Fifth Sunday Singing, so we'll be going up to Clovis for that. Love you guys. Think you guys are awesome. All right. See you in worship.
Yeah,